Hello, hello, hello. I am coming on to bring you an important student loan forgiveness update. There's a lot of money that is about to be forgiven. 5 billion that's approaching us that has already been approved, and much, much, much more. So this is the first student loan forgiveness update of 2024. So if you have a student loan, you're a student loan borrower, or you know someone that is a student loan borrower, you have students or children that are in school, or you in school, this is very important information for you. So come on in, make sure you know what to do. Show us some love, hit that like button so more people see this. Go ahead and share this out, tag somebody you know, because there's millions of borrowers that are trying to figure out what to do with their student loans, or they're giving up, they're checked out, but they don't know about all of the programs that are available to help you get closer to forgiveness. So I'm going to be breaking that down to you, let you know what is up and coming this month, next month, and over the next several months that will surely impact a lot of you all that are watching today. So if you're new here, welcome. I'm Shantae Arati. I'm the host of She Boss Talk. This is where you get all of your small business news and resources. This is where we help businesses generate wealth through entrepreneurship. We give you the information, the education, and equip you with tools to help you do it. Okay. So I know some of you all were expecting me to speak on the BOI reporting step by step. That has been postponed to further prepare and to bring you this important news, because it's that important. So let me make sure that I am live on Instagram, and then we can go ahead and get started. As you have questions, so people have already been popping in. I see your questions that you have, or your comments. I will get to as many as I can. Feel free to leave your questions. I will answer as many as I can on air. But if I don't get to them, I'll answer after the show. Yes, we are live. If you missed the live, definitely come back for the replay, because this is information you don't want to miss. I mean, I already shared with one of my peers that missed one of the original deadlines. Unfortunately for her, there was an extension. So I'm going to be going one by one, talking through about 7 really important parts of the student loan forgiveness process that you need to know. And I'm sure if you're a student loan borrower, you fit into one of the categories. And I can't express enough how important it is to take action, and take action quickly. Do not hesitate. Don't postpone. Don't delay, hoping for extensions, because extensions are not guaranteed. Pay attention to the deadlines that are given, and make sure that you take appropriate action. Now, there are a lot of people. For me, it's easy to navigate the process. I've been doing this for a long time, but for other people, it is not as easy. So if you need assistance, you will find in the description our workshop. So I think it was a 2.5 hour workshop that we walked through every single forgiveness program that there is, and told you how to go get it, how to apply for these particular programs, because there are several. Okay, there are several, and you, I'm sure, will fit into one of the categories. But if you need assistance, $25 will get you the workshop, take you step by step, so that you can take action to lower your payments. And also, the more important thing is to get forgiveness or student loan cancellation. The bottom line is that your debt is going to be eliminated. No more payments will You will not have to have any more payments. That is the whole point of forgiveness and cancellation. Now, in efforts to cancel student loan debts, there have been several ongoing initiatives under the Biden administration and the Department of Ed, that have taken place since the original plan to eliminate more than $400 billion in student loan debt was rejected by the Supreme Court. So since then, the total loan forgiveness offered by the Department of Education has reached $136.6 billion. for more than 3.7 million qualified borrowers. So if you're one of those that have already gotten your student loan forgiven, put a 1 in the comments for me. If you have already gotten either partial or full forgiveness, put a 1 in the comments, because we want to demonstrate to people that forgiveness is happening for a lot of people across the board. Okay. So many, if you haven't kept up, you're probably thinking nothing is happening unless you're one of the ones that got an email saying, congratulations, we approved your loan for forgiveness. But millions of student loan borrowers are no longer dealing with student loan debt. Okay. So they're on the way to higher credit scores, being able to buy homes, be able to put more money towards their family, put more money towards their business or starting a business or some venture, because they are no longer burdened by student loan debt. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about is this $5 billion in student loan cancellation that was just approved by the administration. So this is for 74,000 Americans. The majority are public service workers like teachers, nurses, firefighters, public servants. So please take note of this, because if you are or have at any point in time worked in a public service, and you may have worked in public service and not even know about it, or knew that you could report these hours for forgiveness under the Public Service Workers Forgiveness Program. And so you want to make sure you're taking action, because you could have already had your loans forgiven. Okay, so the latest discharge of student loan debt will fall into 2 categories according to the Department of Education. So the first one, more than 29,000 borrowers will receive $1.7 billion through adjustments to the IDR program or payment program, which is the income-driven repayment program that will count towards forgiveness. This also addresses the Department of Education, what they describe as longstanding concerns with misuse of the forbearance by loan servicers. So this is one of the corrections, fixes, improvements to the program to make up for all the mishaps that had happened before this administration got into office. So they have been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, whether they tout their accomplishments or not. This is things that they are really doing and accomplishing for student loan borrowers. The next one that is covered in here is almost 44,000 borrowers will get $3.2 billion through the PSLF program. So this is for public service workers, including those that benefited from the administration's PSLF waiver. So listen up, for those that missed out on the waiver, it is not all is lost. There, you still have an opportunity to get credits towards your PSLF. Okay, so the waiver allowed borrowers to receive credit for repayment periods that previously didn't count towards forgiveness, and this brings the PSLF relief to $56.7 billion for more than 793,000 borrowers. That's almost 1 million borrowers since October of 2021. So I have peers that have had $200,000, $300,000 in student loan debt wiped out, forgiven, canceled. And some of them don't even know why. Because why? It's automatic. There's once you are already in the system, you've met the time frame of repayment, and you met the certain threshold, then that will equate to forgiveness, and you will get automatic forgiveness. So it's a process, and they are doing this in intervals. So again, this number, the $5 billion, is inclusive of those student loan borrowers that are under the IDR, income-driven repayment program, or the PSLF for public service workers. In addition to that, so that's just been approved. So you should see emails. Check your emails. Check your inboxes and your spam folders. I can't say that enough, because I keep getting people, I didn't know that this was happening because I just failed to check my emails. They will send you an email notification if you have been approved for this cancellation. Number two, so in addition to that, the Biden administration loan cancellation of smaller loans will start in February instead of its initial or original start date of July of 2024. So what are they doing? They're expediting it. They're speeding it up for you to get forgiveness, because a lot of the benefits under the SAVE program, which is a new program under the IDR program, is the best, most affordable repayment program and forgiveness program for student loan borrowers. Okay, so under that, now they have all of these benefits that were supposed to roll out between now and mid 2024. This one wasn't supposed to take effect until July, but it will take effect next month. So this is going to impact millions of student loan borrowers, okay? So they're going to start rolling this out, approving them starting next month. That is what, 2 weeks away? So a lot of you can anticipate getting emails, and I'm going to tell you who this applies to. So let's do the math. This math will work like this. Anyone who borrowed $12,000 or less, if you borrowed $12,000 or less in federal student loans and have been in repayment for 10 years, your loan, you will see your debts automatically erased in February. Okay, let me repeat that. If you are a borrower and your original amount that you borrowed was $12,000 or less in federal student loans, and you have been paying for at least 10 years, you will see your student loans automatically erased in February, as long as you enroll in the new income-based repayment program known as SAVE. So you need to be thinking and calculating to yourself, what was your original loan amount? There's millions that fall into this category, because under the original initiative to cancel student loan debt that was rejected, there were millions of student loan borrowers. They said they had $12,000 or less. So it doesn't matter if your original was $12,000 and now it's ballooned up to $30,000. It's what was the original number that you borrowed. If it was $12,000 or less and you've been paying 10 years and you enroll in the SAVE program, yours will be automatically forgiven. So if you do qualify, but you are not enrolled in SAVE, you want to take the time today, as soon as this video is over, and prioritize applying for the SAVE program. And you do that by going to studenta.gov, studenta.gov. Okay? Now, they don't know how many student loan borrowers this is going to impact, so they haven't come out with any numbers yet. So, but we will keep you updated. But if you meet this criteria and you're enrolled in SAVE, so what does that mean? You want to get enrolled before February. If you know you met this threshold, why would you wait till March or April when they are about to automatically erase your debt in February? You will no longer have to deal with your student loan debt. Okay? So it does not matter what repayment plan or plans that you were on before. So as long as you were actively repaying your loans and now enroll in SAVE. And actively repaying doesn't mean, so if you were, let me just give you an example. If I'm actively repaying and my amount is set to 0, I'm still paying. I'm actively paying. If it's 25 I'm paying it, I'm paying it, right? So if you are actively paying at whatever amount, including 0, you would be included in this number. Okay. Point number 3, automatic forgiveness has been happening every 2 months under the IDR program for borrowers who have reached 20 and 25 years. That's why you hear people, well, I didn't know. I didn't really even do anything. I just got the notice that it was forgiven. Any borrower with loans that have accumulated eligible time in repayment of at least 20 or 25 years will see automatic forgiveness, even if they are not currently on an IDR plan. So you want to do the calculations. So we know the calculations have not been properly tracked. I'm going to get to that in a moment. That's the reason for this, because so many of us have been doing what we were supposed to do, have met or exceeded payments for 20 and 25 years, but our loans were never forgiven. So this is one of the fixes, is that they're going in, they're scraping information, finding out who is under this category of 20 and 25 years, and they are automatically forgiving it in 2 months increments. So every 2 months. So they did it in December, right? Now we in January, the next one is in February. So then the next one won't be in March, it'll be in April. And they'll keep doing this every 12 months until they put in place the ability to track all of our payment history and time. So across the board, it should be very known and transparent what the calculations are, without us having to guess where we are in relation to the 20 and 25 years, just depending on which IDR program you are on. So you need to know which program you're on and the type of loan, whether it's undergrad or grad, and what year would get you towards your forgiveness. If is it 20 or 25? Now, under SAVE, your undergraduate loans are eligible at 20 and your graduate loans are eligible at 25. So I can tell you, I have far surpassed the 20 years for my undergraduate loan. I'm at 25 years at this point. But we don't know what order that they're going in. We just know that every 2 months that they are rolling out automatic forgiveness. Okay, so you want to be mindful of that and kind of estimate a calculation of the years that you have been paying into or you have been on the IDR program. But this is happening every 2 months. That's why we keep hearing about the forgiveness, is because they're on a roll. They will keep doing it and keep doing it and keep rolling out the forgiveness, and it's automatic. Again, this is for, you don't even have to be on the IDR program, but know that for some of the programs, you have to be enrolled in IDR, or you have to be, if you're a public service worker, you need to be reporting and meeting the qualifications under the public service workers program. Okay, so you need to know which one you qualify for. Point number four, consolidation of extension has been the deadline to extend your consolidation is in effect. So this, borrowers had until December 31st of 2023 to consolidate their loans into Department of Ed loans. If you missed that deadline, they have extended it. So fortunately, you still have time. Please do not take this lightly and miss the next deadline. I don't know if they're going to extend it. So they have extended the deadline for borrowers with commercially held FFEL or Perkins loans to apply for a consolidation as soon as possible, but no later than April the 30th to get the full benefits of the account adjustments or credit adjustments that I'm going to talk about soon. Because the consolidations typically take at least 60 days, you want to get moving quickly and as quickly as possible to submit your application. Now, let me clarify the consolidation, because I think some people are confused. This is for those that have federal loans that are not held with the Department of Education. And that's a lot of you. It was me. I had some that was held with the Department of Education and some that were not. Okay. And so you can tell it by logging in to your account at studentaid.gov. It will clearly tell you if it says by your loans, Department of Ed, then it is a Department of Ed loan. If you don't see Department of Ed and you have a federal loan, then you need to consolidate. This is not to consolidate to a private loan or some other third party loan. This is consolidating into a Department of Ed loan that you can do easily through your servicer or online at studentaid.gov. You don't need to go through any financial institution. It is free to apply, to submit and apply to have your loans consolidated. I had all of my loans consolidated. Okay. And yes, could interest go up? You would know when you log in what your interest rates are on your loans. And you would know when you're applying before you complete the process what it will be. Right. So your servicer would give you all this information. Ask whatever and as many questions as you can. I called my servicer so many times. I called the Department of Ed because I needed to be 100% clear and certain of what I was doing and the impacts of what I was doing, because I didn't want to lose all of my time that I had been on IDR by consolidating. So guess what? By the end, the deadline to not lose your time was December. Now it's been extended to April. That's why it's time sensitive. You will not always be able to consolidate without losing your time. This is a one-time only initiative. And if you miss it, you miss it. You got to April 30th to get it done. So, example, if you have a Navient loan, okay, if any of borrowers that have a federal Navient loan, you will not qualify for any of the credit adjustments under the forgiveness program unless or until you consolidate to a Department of Ed loan. Even if you are on an IDR program like I was. Had the program that was rejected by the Supreme Court gone through, my graduate loans were approved. My undergraduate loans were not, because they were not held with the Department of Education. That's how important this is to consolidate to a Department of Education loan. All of mine. So I took all of them, even including the Department of Ed, and consolidated all of them together. My interest rate rose a little bit, but in comparison, it's a no-brainer to consolidate to get forgiveness. I'm already at 20 and 25 years. Plus, by consolidating, they're going to go by my longest loan history, which is my undergraduate that's at 25. So when I do get the forgiveness, it's going to include my graduate loan. If I didn't consolidate, it would not. It would probably either or, and the undergraduate with the longest history would have not gotten forgiveness, or it would be so far down the road because I have not been on the IDR program for 20 or 25 years, but I've been paying on it. That's where the credit adjustments come into play. Okay, so borrowers with commercially managed FFEL and Perkins loans can consolidate into the direct loan program and get the benefit of payment account adjustments. Now, only direct loans are eligible for PSLF. So you have to know what programs you're in. You can be in both. Borrowers with federally managed or commercially managed FFEL or Perkins loan seeking PSLF can consolidate into a direct loan program and receive credit for your PSLF. Okay? So this is credit beyond the waiver. This is like for those that are on public service workers, this is your second chance at getting a credit adjustment. So point number 5 are the credit adjustments. So I'm going to break down how this works, how it works, which is going to be important. So credit adjustments, the Department of Ed will review every borrower's account that has at least one direct loan or one FFEL program loan held by the Department of Education. And they will identify all payments to be counted and instruct your servicer to make the updates to your account. They have already begun to review these loans that have been in repayment long enough to qualify for IDR forgiveness. So this is borrowers who have been in repayment for 20 or 25 years. They will then reevaluate accounts every other month, as I stated, to determine if additional borrowers will qualify for forgiveness. Next, they will review borrowers with at least one approved PSLF form to update the months that could qualify towards PSLF only. These borrowers will see their PSLF payment count updates each month until they make the final adjustment to their IDR counts in 2024. And we're in 2024, okay? Finally, they will review all eligible loans to update the months that qualify towards the IDR forgiveness. Now let's talk about the payment count adjustments for eligible borrowers. So the Department of Ed will conduct again these adjustments for all William D. Ford federal direct loans programs, the federal family education loans. The payment count adjustments will count towards the IDR forgiveness, including any months in repayment status, regardless if payments were made, regardless of the loan type or repayment plan. Payment counts for the adjustments will include 12 or more months of consecutive forbearance or 36 or more months of cumulative forbearance. So even if you were in for time periods you were in forbearance will be included. Some of the times you were in forbearance. Any month spent in economic hardship or military deferment in 2013 or later. So these are, you're counting, they're counting, and you're counting all of these credit adjustments that normally would not be considered. They also consider any month spent in any deferment with the exception of in-school deferment prior to 2013. And any in repayment or deference or forbearance if applicable on earlier loans before consolidation of these loans, consolidation into a consolidated loan. So deferment and forbearance is also considered again for payments before consolidation and before 2013. So they're saying that generally repayment status includes any periods where borrowers was enrolled in a repayment program. Repayment status does not include periods of forbearance, deferment, bankruptcy, or default. However, certain periods of forbearance, deferment, and default will count towards forgiveness in the circumstances described above. So they're taking all of this time, whether you were paying or not, if you were in hardship, deferment, forbearance, if you were in repayment and you paid zero, all of this time they're giving you credit for to get you to that 20 years or 25 years for IDR, or to get you to the 10 years for PSLF. That's huge. These are the credit adjustments, but you have to have a Department of Education loan, a federal loan under Department of Ed. Point number 6, borrowers with Parent Plus loans are eligible for payment count adjustments as well. So I have a lot of people asking me about, what about Parent Plus loans? This is for all. If you are or know someone with a Parent Plus loan, please tag them, please share this video, because I can guarantee you millions of people don't know that they have an alternative, their options, and it's going to get them forgiveness, okay? Parent Plus loans that are federally managed are eligible for forgiveness if they have been in repayment for at least 25 years. Borrowers with Parent Plus loans will also receive a credit for any time considered eligible under the adjustment towards the PSLF program. If the borrower certifies qualifying employment, Parent Plus borrowers who are not yet eligible for forgiveness will need to consolidate their loans by April 30th, 2024 to access the income contingent plan. and continue making progress towards IDR forgiveness. Parent Plus borrowers can only access the ICR by consolidating into a direct loan. So this is for all the Parent Plus people that want to get your forgiveness. Get in the IDR program, the applicable program, and consolidate into the direct loan program. Now, whether it's your child that you took out the loan, they can apply, or you can apply as the parent of the loan. So, but I would recommend, if you have a Parent Plus loan, discuss it amongst the student borrower who you know your child who you took out the loan for, to have that conversation and get in your paperwork. So this is really important also for those that want to qualify for PSLF. Point number 7, borrowers with defaulted loans. I'm going to reiterate that you can get the benefit of the payment count adjustments by getting out of default, including through the Fresh Start program or consolidation. So it's in your benefit if you have defaulted. You don't have to be defaulted. Okay? So if you are in default, you can get out of default with the Fresh Start program by going to studentaid.gov and going through the simple process of applying for the Fresh Start program. All the details about the Fresh Start program are there, or by consolidating your loan. But because as long as you're in default, you won't be able to reap these benefits. These are one-time only, time-sensitive benefits that have an expiration date. Okay? So again, if you have a defaulted loan, there's no reason you should be in default right now. There's no reason. Because why? They have a program for it called Fresh Start. So even if you're in a situation, I don't have money, I can't pay my loan, it's too much. Did you attempt to get into one of these programs? You could have been one of the ones that was forgiven in December or October. You could have. But if you're one of these people saying, oh, I'm going to throw up my hands and I'm just not going to do anything with my student loans, I can't make you do anything. I'm only responsible for me. But what I can tell you is that right now, there's no reason you should be in default. We had a 3-year moratorium on student loans, on payments and default, meaning that it could not impact you during the 3-year moratorium. So now they're giving you an opportunity to get in one of these programs, and depending on your loan, where it's at, you may get forgiveness in this next round. So I would rewind this video and go to some of my other student loan videos and then get the workshop and see where you are so that you can get on the appropriate plan so that you can get forgiveness. And so in addition, there's a ramp up period. It's a 9 to 12 month ramp up period where even if you're not paying your loans, they're not going to do anything. There's no repercussions for the only during the ramp up period, which is at least 9 months. But I think it's a 12-month ramp up period. Okay, but it's either 9 or 12 months. So during that time, even if you're not making payments, you're like, these payments are too high, I still can't afford them or whatever, you're still not getting experiencing any repercussions from that at all. But again, there's an expiration date on that. So you might as well take action now while all of these benefits are in place and you're not being hindered by the fact that you're not making payments on your student loan debt. So you might as well get into one of these programs. And if you're on one of the programs, IDR programs, and you had a shift in your income, maybe you had a decrease in your income, then you need to report that, and then they will adjust your payment. But again, like I always say, there's things that are in your control. Those are the things that you can do. You really don't have control over the agency or what anybody else does. At least the least you could do is what you are responsible to do. And there's some things that can't even happen until you take action on it. And that's what I'm giving you in this video. Everything that you need to do, all of these programs that are available to you to get into. I mean, I'm looking forward to the day that they tell me that they send me the email. I check daily. I check my emails daily and spam folders. I can't wait for the day that it happens. And for those that have gotten yours forgiveness, congratulations. And you will see an impact to once you get forgiveness, there is an impact to your credit score. It will drop, but it will go back up. Okay. So again, the benefit outweighs the pros outweighs the cons, right? Because you're getting the benefit, you no longer have the debt, you can do more with your money, and then you can rebuild your credit. So depending on the history that you have on your credit report, it may have less of an impact. But understand that your student loan has been around for 25 years. That's probably the longest history of a loan you have outside of a home. If you have a mortgage, right? It's the longest history. So that has a big impact on your credit. Okay. But you can easily work on raising your credit score after that. Okay. So let me run back through these quickly one more time, and then I'll see what questions are out there. Again, this is just a reminder that there has been a lot of forgiveness already, over $136 billion for 3.7 million qualified borrowers, and more borrowers are about to see forgiveness in the total of $5 billion, both on the IDR program and PSLF. In addition to that, those with a student loan of $12,000 or less will see forgiveness automatic in February of this year. That's next month. If you have been in repayment at least 10 years and you enroll and save, get enrolled and save so you can get that forgiveness. Automatic forgiveness is happening every 2 months until they finalize all of the calculations, which is anticipated around mid-2024, June or July. We'll keep you posted. 4, consolidate the extension deadline on consolidating your loans to Department of Ed loans is extended to April the 30th. It takes at least 60 days or up to consolidate in some cases. Don't wait until the last minute to start your consolidation process. Now, my consolidation process did not take 60 days, but I was one of the early starters. When you start late and everybody is cramming to get their information in, then it overwhelms the servicers. So then it takes longer. That's why doing things earlier is better. Okay. So getting those loans consolidated, the extension deadline is April 30th. Okay. The credit adjustments that I went over, these are one-time only credit adjustments that likely will not happen again. Okay. This impacts those that are not on IDR, those that are on the IDR program, and those that are on the PSLF program. And so PSLF, you only have to qualify for 10 years. Okay. So I went through all of the adjustments that are available to you, the credits for all those times, even when you're not on IDR, even when you're on forbearance, even when you're on hardship, even when you're paying zero, you're going to get credit for all of that time to get you to the 10, the 20, and the 25, depending on whatever category that you fit into. Parent Plus loans are eligible for this credit adjustment. You need to be on the income contingent plan and consolidate to a direct loan. Okay. And borrowers in default don't need to be in default. There is a fresh start program, and or you can consolidate. So even with the initiation of a consolidation, you get out of default status. If you have not checked your status, you need to check it. If you have not checked your credit report, you need to check it. Every bureau gives a free credit report every year. You need to be pulling them. Okay, so those are the student loan updates. Let me see if there are any questions here. Someone is asking, what if you have bankruptcy? I had a bankruptcy. That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant to if you qualify for this program or not. I don't, maybe you have a different question or a clarifying question, but this has not impacted my ability to get into an IDR program or to qualify for forgiveness. It's not even a requirement. It looks like all of my loans have been forgiven with the exception of my most recent. I would like to know how old is your most recent? Like, was it in recent years? Because, there's many of us that we have student loans, but we go back to school. We go back to get, another degree or another certificate, and we take out a loan to do it. So I'll be interested to see how, how recent that loan is. Okay, that's the same question about bankruptcy. We have another person, Latrice. I just checked my account, and all except 31,000 has been forgiven. Congratulations, that's amazing. I would like to know, and do you know why? What is the exception with the 31? So was it, and which program were they forgiven under? Would be a good question for you to be able to determine when you could get the remaining 31,000 forgiven. And I would like to know, I would be interested to know too, what was your total amount? What was the total amount that was forgiven? Because 31,000 is a lot, so it had to be a lot more than that. But that's great to have anything, even if it's partial forgiveness. Now, one thing that I didn't mention is that if you've been paying money and you have surpassed your 20 or 25 or 10 years, when you get forgiveness, they will issue you a refund for the amounts over and above that you paid. Past the 10 years, past the 20, and past the 25. Okay? So I know a lot of people that have gotten a check, that they got forgiveness and they got a check. Okay, someone is saying they're currently under SAVE program. That's great. I think it's Ken 77. Let me know, how much are you paying under SAVE? Are you at 0? Right now, I'm at 0. And believe me, when I have a change, right? I'm a business owner. I'm both an employee and I'm self-employed. So our income fluctuates. And so I'm not going to wait till the end of the year. If I know my income has fluctuated, I'm going to report it. So then they can quickly adjust my payment. So don't wait for those types of things. If you know you've had a change in your income, you need to report it. Another person is saying, I read that loan stay after bankruptcy, so you should call the Department of Ed. Okay, so your loans, just because they are forgiven, doesn't mean they come off of your credit report. It's still credit history. It's part of your credit history. And, everything has timing as far as when it falls off. Your forgiveness doesn't mean it's going to fall off your credit report. So even when there's been several times that my loans were sold or given to another servicer. And so what happens is they pay off the debt and give it to the other servicer. So when they do that, it shows up on my credit report as paid. And then a new one opens up. Okay. So it just happened before they started this, before I consolidated. And before my loans moved, my graduate loans moved from Great Lakes to Nelnet. And when they did that, it reflects that it's paid, but it's not. So, I mean, it's all good stuff. It's not a negative hit on your credit report. It just shows that you have a student loan. It will say 0. It will say paid. but that doesn't mean it's going to be deleted from your report. Um, oh, wow. Okay, so she's saying that it was for a certificate and the previous balance was 20. Okay, so you went from $218,000. Can we congratulate her? $218,000 down to 31,000. That is amazing. Someone is asking, how does forbearance work? Okay, so this is a question. I need more information on how long you've been in forbearance. Are you a new student? Like, are you newly in forbearance, or you been in forbearance like a long time? And why are you on forbearance? Is it necessary that you be on forbearance? Because that's one of the reasons for this fix, is that servicers were not gearing people towards PSLF, and in any of the IDR programs, they were just putting you on forbearance. When you're on forbearance, you don't get any closer to forgiveness. So say you're on forbearance for 5 years. 5 years. That 5 years should go towards forgiveness for you, but it doesn't, because you're on forbearance. And forbearance, it means you're paying you're paying zero, but interest is still accumulating, but you're really not getting any benefit. So that's why in the credit adjustments, they're including times that you were on forbearance, time that you were in deferment, because the servicers were directing you improperly to these forbearance programs when they should have been directing you towards the forgiveness programs. Someone else has a situation. Student loans are reported as paid. Yes. Do I still need to join a program? No, unless you have remaining student loan debt. Do you have any remaining? So if it's reported as paid, you would know if it's a transfer or if it was approved. If it was a transfer and you still owe the money, you need to apply for forgiveness. You need to get into one of the programs. If it's paid and you got your letter or letters, because you would get different correspondences. You would get the letter that you've been approved. You would get a letter from your servicer. You would get a correspondence also that says that it's been paid in full and your balance is zero. All of these correspondences, you want to make sure that you save just for your record. You just never know what might happen, a glitch in the system. And they come back and say, no, you didn't get forgiveness or whatever. It's always important to maintain your documentation anytime you get it. I have a folder. Everything from the Department of Ed and Nelnet, whoever my servicer is, go into a folder. So I don't have to guess where it is. It is there. And I can easily access it. Okay? You're so welcome. Yeah. And so now you can really, okay, so this is let me show this right here. You're welcome. Thank you for the information. I appreciate all you share. Now that I feel I can really put my effort into my business. Just think about being freed from the burden of debt, student loan debt, right? And now you can have that you're not focusing on your efforts and your attention and all your energy and your financial resources on this debt. It's a weight. Now you can really free up your mind space, your energy, your emotions, everything to now focus on your business or whatever else you wanted. That's why it's important. That's why I say don't just ignore your student loans, because as much as you say you're ignoring them, they're always at the back of your mind. And as long as they're at the back of your mind, it's a burden on you. It's taking your attention off of other things. I know, because when I was in debt, it was a nightmare. I don't like owing people. So I'm going to do whatever I can to get rid of the debt, to pay it off, get forgiveness or whatever. Now, these programs are here again because the system dropped the ball. There were system failures, not student borrower failures. There were system failures, process failures that you didn't get the forgiveness you should have gotten. You didn't get credit for time that you paid in a system, and now they are rectifying that. That is what is happening. Okay. How do you find out if your employer is PSLF? Okay, so again, let me remind you of my workshop that will help you. You can also go to the studentaid.gov, go click on the PSLF tab. There is a section that you can put in. I'm not going to share it on the screen because it would take too much time. And I shared it in several of my other videos as well, so you could go back to my videos. But go under PSLF, it will have a section where you can put in the employer name. Do that. You may find that the employer that you worked for 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, right, is a qualifying employer. And it will tell you if they are, okay? And you need to know if you work there 30 plus hours a week or more is considered full time. Okay, 30 or more hours a week. And I hear people all the time saying, "Oh, I used to work for this company. Oh, I used to work for the." I worked in public service all my entire career. Okay, so this is the time to go think about who you work for. Even if you work for like the water company, the sewer company, your utility, all of that is government, that's public service. Did you work for the government, the local government, the county, a state department or agency? All of that is public service. Were you a police officer? Did you work for a county office like the Cuyahoga County or the county, excuse me, library or housing authority? Anything like that, fire department, police. Did you work for a public school, public university, a public college? Did you work for a public hospital as a nurse or as a doctor or in any other capacity? Those are considered eligible public service work. And the list goes on. So put your employer in there, see now, and then go back to them and get your W-2s. Hopefully you saved them. If you didn't, they may be able to provide them. If they went out of business, they also have ways that you can get the information, like pulling up your tax history or some form. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there are alternatives. If, say, for instance, the company you work for went out of business, the W-2s are still on file. So they should be accessible because you filed your taxes. So they're in the system. Okay. Working for the city is eligible. You put it in there. City of what? City of Cleveland, City of Columbus, City of Cincinnati, City of Tampa, whatever city you work for, put it in there and see if they're eligible. Awesome. I look forward to applying for the program because I didn't know this information. I can't tell you the millions of student loan borrowers don't know this. So I'm going to ask you, if you see in this video, please share it. Share it out. Tag somebody you know that is a student loan borrower because they're going to need this information. Okay? So I can bring you to the water. I can't make you drink it. Someone is asking how to apply for student loan forgiveness. I just went through that process. And then also you can get you can get my workshop. I walked through that. It's still showing an outstanding balance on my credit report. Yeah, okay, so give it time. You just make sure that you have let's see. Just make sure that you have all of your records. Know that it takes time for things to fall off your credit report. It may not be the same. It's not going to be the same day, the same week. It may be a few months before to reflect otherwise. Let me see. Okay, so I just answered that question. So those that are coming on late, I would just encourage you to go back and watch the replay of this video because I answered a lot of these questions. Okay, let me hide this. I want to get through here. Robin, I have forgiveness is on my wall. Look, I had a lady on my show last year who got forgiveness. I think hers was over 200,000, and she did a TikTok video that went viral. I had her on my show. I may do one of those. I may do some backflips. I'm definitely going to pull it up on a wall. These are things that you should celebrate. So congratulations. So her loan was sold to, I wouldn't say it was sold to, is transferred to Mahela. Why? Mahela is the one, they're the servicer that handles PSLF. So if you're pursuing PSLF, you need to know who that servicer is. They will, if you have already applied and started submitting your employers your time, they would move you to Mahela. So that's a good thing. Every servicer has a different focus. Um, Let me see. I think I answered all of the questions. I haven't received any correspondence. I monitor my credit often, which is how I realized that they are reporting as paid. Yeah. So, but your email, your student loan servicer, you will always get an email from them, and you will get an email from the Department of Ed. When mine was paid, and when you log in to your servicer, that information will be there. So I have documentation that tells me that my loan was transferred from Great Lakes to Nelnet, like the whole process from beginning to end. And there's a welcome letter. There's special instructions for those that have been transferred. So just make sure you are paying attention to all of that information when they give it to you. Don't ignore the notification and the messages that they send you. And let me just check and make sure I have all of these. How does forbearance work? Oh, it just works. It's really similar to deferment, that where is allowing you to pay nothing on your student loan for a period of time, usually after you come out of deferment, but you are still accruing interest, and you get none of the benefits of being under the other programs. It just basically, you don't have to pay right now. That's it. There was a period of time I was in deferment and I was in forbearance, but I didn't stay there. Um, Let me see. I answered the question about bankruptcy. We have another person with Mahela. Robin got hers forgiven through Mahela. The public service workers is huge. It's so many people that don't know that they could qualify for public service worker. And the great thing about that is 10 years, not 20 or 25. So it's a lot of you all right now are sitting on 10 years plus for PSLF, and you don't know that you could already have your loans forgiven. So go get those employers information to verify you worked for them, and get the credit for the time that you worked at these different agencies or employers that are considered public service. I have not made a payment on my student loan, and I have given this to the Lord, that mine will be canceled. But what does that mean? So you haven't given a payment, you're just not giving a payment. How much are your payments? Or are you enrolled in a program? I'm enrolled in the right program. My loans are consolidated and I'm paying zero. So you cannot make a payment and be on the wrong program, or make a payment and be on the right program and get forgiveness. But it's a choice, right? I'm just giving you your options. Tracy is saying I had to pay my student loan off because it took long for me to move towards the goal. But now you need to pay off the IRS. So those that did pay all your student loans, unfortunately, like, there's nothing forgive now, and you wouldn't get a refund on that. And then as far as IRS debt, that's totally separate. So hopefully, you can get assistance with that, but there's no like particular program that, besides resolution services and some other services that can help you, like with payments. Okay. So I think those are all the questions. I hope this has been helpful for you all. Again, I felt like this was important. This is the first student loan update, borrower update of the year. Again, this is for forgiveness, cancellation, being done with student loan debt. This is going to be for a lot of you all out there, millions more to come over the next few months and several months. So get prepared, get into the right program. If you need help, If you feel like it's difficult to navigate or you're not technically savvy, get my workshop. I took the time to walk through every single program there is, including for military, including for disabled people, because there are programs for disabled and programs for military and vets. So there's a program for doctors and nurses. So just know that there are many, many programs that you could potentially fall into. And this is your opportunity to get into the right program. And I support you in it. Come back and tell us when your student loan has been forgiven. We get emails all the time, and I appreciate that. And we share it. We give you a shout out, because there's nothing like being able to say that I no longer have student loan debt is taken care of, and I can focus my energy and my financial resources on other things, other important things that matter, that is going to build me wealth and is going to help me create a legacy for myself and my family. That's what I'm about. I know that's what many of you are about. So we're going to support you in that. Tune in on Tuesday for when I walk through the latest FinCEN BOI report. This is a new federal reporting requirement for business owners, registered business owners. So if you have a registered business in your state, this is a federal requirement that you have to do a free one-time reporting of your beneficial owner information. And so I've already done one video to tell you what it is, what the requirements are, and this video will walk through step by step through the actual report. So I had to work through some glitches with the uploading and things like that for IDs and stuff to make sure that there's no glitches during the walkthrough. But tune in on Tuesday. If you want to know more ways about how to make $1 million, tune in on this Thursday for that live, because I walk through the many ways that if you have not already made $1 million in your business, or you want to make more millions of dollars, ways that you can do it. So if that is you or someone you know, have them tune in on Thursday this week at 1 p.m. I'll see you there. As always, continue to be the boss with Amplify Impact. Have a wonderful day.